She said it right there at the rooftop party, loud enough for half the group to hear. We're not engaged. You don't get to police who I dance with. I just looked at her across the string lights, drink halfway to my mouth, and nodded once. Got it. Then I turned and walked to the elevator without another word. My girlfriend Sophia was still on the dance floor when I left the building, laughing in the arms of some guy in an expensive linen shirt who'd been hovering all night. The summer air felt thick, but I breathed it in anyway and called an Uber home. Home was the loft we'd shared for almost 2 years in the Arts District downtown. I'd found it, negotiated the lease, paid the security deposit, and covered 70% of the rent every month because her freelance graphic design gigs were inconsistent. She'd decorated it with plants and thrifted furniture and called it ours, but the lease was in my name alone. That night, I sat on the balcony with the city lights flickering below and let everything settle. It wasn't just the dancing. It was the way she'd started coming home later, the weekends she spent crashing at Lila's, that somehow always involved stories about new clubs and new people. It was the way she'd roll her eyes when I asked simple questions: who she was texting, why her location was off, whether she was still coming to my sister's engagement dinner next month. You're acting like we're married, she'd say. We're just dating. Relax. So I relaxed. She texted around 1:30, having fun, don't wait up, followed by a string of heart emojis that I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my laptop and started making a list. Everything that was undeniably mine. The leather sectional I'd saved for 6 months to buy. The 65-inch TV. The surround sound system. The high-end espresso machine I'd bought after she complained the old one was embarrassing when friends came over. The king bed frame, the memory foam mattress, the Egyptian cotton sheets. My books, my vinyl collection, my gaming PC, my tools in the storage closet. I texted my brother Ethan. Need your truck tomorrow. Emergency. He answered immediately. On my way. He showed up at 9 the next morning with coffee and no judgment. Sophia was still asleep on the couch. She'd stumbled in around 4, kicked off her heels, and passed out without coming to bed. Ethan raised an eyebrow at the sight of her sprawled under a throw blanket, mascara smudged. We doing this quiet? Quiet as possible, I said. We started in the living room. Rolled up the area rug mine. Disconnected the TV and components. Took the art prints I'd bought on trips mine. The plants were mostly hers. I left them. The thrifted mid-century dresser she loved was hers. I left that too. But the sectional came apart in sections, and we carried it down the freight elevator piece by piece. She stirred when we were wrestling the coffee table out the door. What are you doing? Her voice was thick with sleep and last night's vodka. Moving my stuff out, I said, calm, setting the table down for a second to catch my breath. She sat up slowly, blanket falling away. Wait, what? You're serious? You said we're not engaged. You're right. So I'm taking what's mine. Ethan kept his eyes on the floor, pretending to adjust the dolly. Sophia stood, swaying a little. Because I danced with someone? You're leaving over that. Not over that. Over everything. I picked up my end of the table again. We'll talk later if you want. She followed us to the elevator, barefoot, hair wild. This is insane. You can't just disappear with half the apartment. I'm not taking half. I'm taking what I paid for. The doors closed on her stunned face. We made 4 trips. Bedroom next, mattress, frame, my nightstand, my lamp. I stripped my side of the closet, folded my clothes into the suitcases I'd already packed. Took my towels, my beard trimmer, my cologne, the fancy candles I liked. Left her towels, her makeup, her half-empty perfume bottles lined up like soldiers on the bathroom counter. Kitchen was last. I took the Vitamix, the Japanese knives, The Le Creuset Dutch oven my parents gave me when I moved out of their house. Left the mismatched IKEA pots she'd brought from her old place. Took the good wine glasses. Left the plastic ones from Target. By 2 in the afternoon, the loft looked hollow. Bare walls where art had been. Empty corners where furniture once stood. Her things remained. Colorful throw pillows, string lights, the velvet accent chair she'd found on Facebook Marketplace. But the space echoed now. I left the new key on the kitchen island with a short note. You were right. We're not engaged. I don't own you, and you don't owe me anything. Take care. Then I locked the door behind me for the last time. Ethan helped me unload everything into the storage unit I'd rented that morning, then into the spare bedroom at his house until I found a new place. We ordered pizza and drank beer on his patio while I stared at my phone lighting up. First came confusion. Where are you? Why is the TV gone? Then anger. This is childish. You took the bed? Really? Then bargaining. Please come back so we can talk. I didn't mean it like that last night. I didn't answer any of them. Around 8 she called from Lila's phone. I let it ring out twice before picking up. You can't just ghost me after 2 years, she started, voice shaky. I'm not ghosting. I'm giving you exactly what you kept asking for. Space, no pressure, no commitment. That's not what I meant, and you know it. Do I? Because every time I tried to talk about the future, you shut it down. Every time I asked for basic respect, you called me controlling. So I stopped asking. Silence stretched. I was drunk last night, she said finally. I didn't mean to hurt you. It wasn't last night, sophomore. It was every night you came home late and got mad when I noticed. Every time you flirted in front of me and laughed when I cared. Every time you let me pay for everything but reminded me we were just dating the second I wanted more. She started crying. I listened for a minute, then said, I'm tired. I need to go. Can we meet tomorrow? Coffee? Please. I almost said no. Almost. But part of me still wanted answers or closure or something. Fine. The place on 5th at noon. I showed up early, ordered a black coffee, sat in the corner. She arrived looking like she hadn't slept. Dark circles, hoodie, hair in a messy knot. She ordered some complicated oat milk thing and sat across from me, wrapping both hands around the cup like it was keeping her warm. I'm sorry, she started. I know I've been distant. I know I said things I didn't mean. Which things? That you were controlling. That we weren't serious. I was scared, okay? Commitment freaks me out. My parents' divorce was awful, and this isn't about your parents. It's about how you treated me. She looked down. I took you for granted. I see that now. Now that the furniture's gone? Her head snapped up. That's not fair. Isn't it? When I suggested we split rent more evenly, you said it would make you feel like a burden. When I asked you to come to family events, you said it was too much pressure. But you never hesitated to let me cover dinners, trips, your phone bill that 1 month you were short. Tears welled again. I'm not good at this, at being someone's girlfriend the right way. Then why stay? Because I do love you. I just didn't know how to show it without feeling trapped. I drank my coffee. It was cooling fast. I loved you too, I said. But love isn't just words. It's choosing someone even when it's inconvenient. It's respecting them even when you're mad. I didn't feel chosen, Sophia. I felt convenient. She reached for my hand. I let her take it this time, but I didn't squeeze back. I can change, she whispered. We can try again. Slower. Whatever you need. I thought about it. Really thought. Remembered mornings making coffee together, laughing over stupid TV shows, the way she used to trace patterns on my back when we fell asleep. Then I remembered coming home to an empty apartment waiting for texts that never came, paying bills alone, apologizing for being upset. I pulled my hand away gently. I don't think so. Her face crumpled. Just like that. Not just like that. After months of trying and getting nowhere. I'm done trying alone. I stood, left cash on the table, and walked out into the bright afternoon. She didn't follow. 6 weeks later, I'd found a one-bedroom near the park. Smaller, but all mine. The sectional fit perfectly against the brick wall. The espresso machine sat on the counter like it had always belonged there. I'd hung my prints, arranged my books, bought a new bed frame that didn't remind me of anyone. Ethan came over most Fridays with takeout, and we watched games or played online with old friends. Life felt quieter, but in a good way. Sophia texted a few times. Apologies, memories, questions about whether I was seeing anyone. I kept responses short or didn't answer. Eventually they stopped. Our friend group fractured quietly. Lila stayed loyal to her. Ethan and a couple others stuck with me. Most stayed neutral and faded out of both our lives. I heard through Ethan that she moved into a smaller place with a roommate, that the guy from the rooftop lasted about a month before he couldn't handle the intensity. I didn't laugh, but I didn't feel sorry either. One evening in early fall, I was on my new balcony grilling steaks when my phone buzzed with an Instagram notification. She'd posted a mirror selfie in workout clothes, caption about new chapters and self-love. Comments poured in with heart emojis and encouragement. I scrolled past without liking. A woman from my office, Clara, had started joining me for lunch sometimes. She asked real questions, remembered details, paid for her own coffee without making a point of it. When she suggested grabbing drinks after work one Thursday, I said yes without overthinking. We sat at a quiet bar and talked for hours. She laughed easily, asked about my family, told me about her own. When the check came, she reached for it. I invited you, she said simply. I smiled. Next one's mine. There would be a next one. Months later, I ran into Sophia at a mutual friend's holiday party. She was there with a new guy, tall, quiet, seemed nice enough. She saw me across the room and froze for a second. I raised my glass in a small toast. She gave a tight smile and turned back to her date. Clara was next to me, hand resting lightly on my arm. Everything okay? She asked. Yeah, I said, and meant it. Everything's good. Walking home that night through cold air and Christmas lights, I realized I didn't feel the old ache anymore. Not anger, not regret, not even nostalgia. Just lightness. Someone asked me later if I wished I'd handled the breakup differently. Talked more, waited, tried counseling. Maybe I could have. Maybe it would have changed things. But I know myself now. I know I gave more than enough chances, carried more than my share, waited longer than I should have. When I finally chose myself, it wasn't dramatic or vengeful. It was necessary. She was right about one thing: we weren't engaged. I didn't own her. But I finally owned my peace. And that was enough.